Crown Produce secures produce locally and from around the world for Canadian retailers. Crown Produce is also proud to secure sponsorship of university football on Shaw. Crown Produce, supporting Canadian retailers and Canadian amateur football. Whether it's your first home, a refinance, or an investment property, Kia Grant & Associates can find a mortgage solution for you. In association with Verico Paragon, the work she does for you is free. Find her on Facebook at Kia Grant Mortgages.
Welcome to the debut of Touchdown BC. I'm Andrew Wadden. Of course, this is my co-host, Ryan Sullivan. You might know us from Crown Countdown U fame. This show, however, we are going to cover everything amateur football related in British Columbia, whether that's high school football, junior football, CIS, NCAA, even community football. This is your one-stop program for everything BC football related.
You might say it's amateur hour, but it's not. Professionals. Okay,
really?
Let's start things out with BC Junior Football, the VI Raiders hosting the Langley Rams.
All right, let's head out to Nanaimo. Now, this game had some great plays, but due to our main demographic here at Touchdown BC of females aged 80 plus, we're only going to show 2 before most homes' 5:45 bedtimes kick in. Right off the kickoff, Mikhail Maloff, also known as the General, or General Mikhail Maloff, takes off. He is gone 95 yards. He's running all the way to Yaklulit. VI Raiders take a massive lead, and their entire bench joins Maloff in the end zone. That's interesting. All right, now rarely do you end a highlight pack, and such a good highlight pack, on a hit, but today we're making an exception. Jelani Gilbert Noren sends a prayer to Jacob Harvey. He gets carved up by Cole Bishop. It was not helmet to helmet, thankfully. A huge hit and a huge win for Vancouver Island, 41-27. Jamie Ibarra goes 17 of 32 for 375 yards and 4 touchdowns for the ones who call Nanaimo home. The big stat for Langley, Nathan Lund picking up a hundy on the ground with 1 major in the loss. Okanagan Sun, Valley Huskers. We head out to Townsend Park. Start things out in the first. Huskers punting when Brennan Van Nistelrooy breaks through, lays down the block, and takes it in for 6, making it look extremely easy. Chivalry is not dead in the Okanagan, by the way. Passes the ball nicely to the official. What a nice guy. Moving along, LaRon Robinson takes the feed from Theo Dizar, and he heads up the edge. He's gone. Touchdown, OK Sun. It's 15, soon to be 16-9 for the best pants in football. The Sun then fumble the ball on the draw, and Jerry Sadu is the man on the spot. He's gone. Green and black put it on the board, and easy strip 6. The Huskers are right back in this one. It's 16-11 after 1 Q. Second quarter, more Huskers. Cody Perret goes for a run and punches it to the 1. He looked past the cone on the replay. He could use some replacement reps, if you know what I mean. Just saying. Anyway, Huskers would not be able to punch it in. Valley punting, Robin Yoakum goes for a trek up the right. He then decides to head for some lakeside property. He takes a quick turn, heads for the cameraman. Yoakum shakes a tackle and then run down. The Sun would settle for a 3-pointer. They go up 9 late in the third. Here we go. Now watch this run. Alex Bradley from 49 yards out turns on the jet, skips a man, a nice ball switch to the left hand. AB runs all the way to C, a great looking scamper, and Bradley has got his boys up 26-10. The Sun then turn on the charm a little. Cody Perret tosses the suicide pass, and boom! If you missed it, watch the off man here. Perret gets steamrolled on the next play as well. The Sun not fooling around at home. He'd get up. He'd be all right. Tommy Howes then pulls in the unreal Dizar toss. Throw another 6, soon to be 7. on the board. The Okanagan absolutely destroying Valley in the fourth. Valley fans upset about the lack of Crown bananas at the concession. Come on, Townsend, start buying better produce. You tell them. There you go. The Huskers would throw another 7 on the board, but it really would not matter in the slightest. 38-17 Sun, your final score. Alex Bradley with 119 rushing yards out there and 1 major. He was fantastic for the Okanagan all day long. For the Valley, well, there weren't too many bright spots. Blake Draper, though, eclipsing the century mark with, get this, 14 catches on the day. He was a busy and popular man.
All right, let's switch gears now. Check out some BC high school football. We're going to go to Mercer Stadium in the lovely town of New Westminster, where the hometown Hayeks were playing host to the Centennial Centaurs.
Let's head up Canada way for a battle of the Titans. Centennial's Nicholas Ochimoto drops back and then takes off. Looking like a young Reggie Slack, he goes 43 yards deep into Hayek territory. Nicky O earning every stitch of that bomber jacket early on. And on 3rd and goal, Ochimoto then finds Josh Tattinger, who bulldozes his way through. The CCs are on the board first. It's 7 Bagel. Tommy Robertson leads the charge back the other way for New West, but he can't hold on to the biscuit. A little communication breakdown with his back, and it's time for the Hayaks to bring their defense back onto the field. Centennial then goes 3 and out, and their punt gets tipped right into the hands of Matthew Seymour, and he sees more green all the way to pay dirt. We got a tied up ball game. Ochimoto then decides to give his coach a heart attack by running backwards into the end zone. He airs one out of desperation, and he finds a man. It's J.J. Jackson, or they call him Triple J, getting the job done with the sure hands. It would result, however, though, in very little. Right back the other way, Angelo Tanjaquillo takes the rock and steams ahead. The little engine that could puts his boys back in the lead. Tanjaquillo has hungry eyes again as he heads for the promised land with another scamper. Hayaks starting to take flight. Things just keep getting worse for Centennial. On the ensuing kickoff, JP Calabay can't keep the sugar in his cup. He drops the ball. Hayaks recover, and it leads to a major. They would find a little life now, down by 30. Calabay redeems himself by weaving his way in and out of the New West special teams. He takes the rock all the way to the house. Ain't nobody gonna catch him. Centennial cut the lead to 24, and that's as close as they would come.
Vancouver College visiting STM. Thankfully, no cheerleaders got mowed down in front of the banner. STM of the Eastern Conference taking on the West in the Vancouver College Fighting Irish. A relatively slow first half, but the VC ground game got to work. Ovi Ojegba with a nice pickup of 24 yards. Robbie Welch then follows that up in the second Q with a nice gain of 23. Jordy Belfiore then follows that scamper by airing it out for Manny Kuhn. It's no dice, but Laundry hits the field. The Irish hop into the red zone and then watch Robbie Welch shove the pile. He was upset because they said he doesn't move his arms when he dances. That's a Seinfeld reference. It would result in a missed field goal. We've got zeros at the half. Third Q, STM starts their trek early. Noah Usherwood takes the rock and goes for a jaunt. An easy first down. It's followed up by Matthew Duda. He takes the end around to the other side. Move those chains. Once again, another first on the board. J.J. Delorier then sets back and goes to the air, and a beauty of a grab. Andrew Flett. When the STM band gets a rockin', you don't come a knockin'. This handoff to Malcolm Lee. The red, white, and black trim scratch the scoreboard first. Right back the other way, Belfiore hits Ojegba, and he heads up the sideline. Ojegba with a pretty nice pickup here after the grab. VC opts for 0-2 again. Ovi Ojegba takes it to the outside. That's 6 on the board. The extra point following those sees nothing but red. STM with the block, they stay in the lead. Right back the other way, Jordan McKenzie gets the tree trunks rumbling. He has a beauty run and shakes off a man to boot. STM back pressing. They couldn't convert though after 3 plays. They go for it on 4th. The pass for Usherwood falls incomplete. A very costly turnover in the VC red zone. 7-6 STM after 3. Fourth quarter, VC back in the red but cannot convert. Josh Sanga covered beautifully by Duda. VC settles for a three-banger. STM would recover. Delorier hands off to Massimo Pozzolo. He uses his blocker, and the Raging Bull rams it home. It's 14-9 St. Thomas More. We go to field level for VC back in scoring territory. It's who else? Robbie Welch ramming it in there once again. VC then goes for two, and yes, sir, he's been doing it all night long. Welch puts his boys up 17-14, and with one final chance, Delorier airs it out. It's caught, but who are we kidding? This one is over. 17-14. Vancouver College Fighting Irish is your final from the beautiful, beautiful shores of Burnaby Lake. Now let's take a look at the AA and AAA exhibition scoreboard.
Like Huey Lewis and Gwyneth Paltrow, the UBC Thunderbirds have been running a duet offense, you might say, between Greg Bocott and Carson Williams, if you didn't get the reference there. They're taking on Manitoba. Manitoba's been looking good aside from that unfortunate loss last week. Let's check it out from T-Bird Stadium.
The UBC faithful come out in droves to support their T-Birds. Early in the first Q, Bison's Andrew Barry punches in the game's first tally, the Herd up 7. Slice to the third, the Bisons fumble the handoff. Yanni Kabilas with the scoop and run, outrunning the Herd to the house. Manitoba lead cut to 1. A couple minutes later, T-Bird pivot Greg Bocott decides to go for a run in the park. That's a 21-yard scampi. The boys in blue take the lead. Next possession for the T-Birds, Bocott airs one out for Nick Jacobs. Oh, brother, that's a 44-yard gain. Jacobs with the emphatic first down. 2 plays later, Mika Teal completes the drive. British Columbians take control, and they keep rolling. Bocott drops back and goes airborne to the back of the end zone, where Josh Cronstrom hauls in the pigskin. T-Birds lead up to 17. But cue the Bison comeback. Just over 2 minutes to go. Jordan Yance, former VI Raider, to Anthony Coombs. That's 7. Deficit down 2-3. UBC go 3 and out. So the Herd's next possession. Yance goes deep to Nick Dembski. With the good mitts, Bisons come all the way back to win a heartbreaker over the UBC T-Birds. Anthony Coombs led the Bison's charge, racking up 175 all-purpose yards, plus the 1 touchdown. DC now heads to Regina to take on Cayman Shutter and the Rams this weekend.
Well, as for the SFU Clan, it was a bye week. They get going again in Ellensburg, taking on Central Washington. SFU with an upset win to open the season against Humboldt State.
All right, so let me get this straight. Huey Lewis, Gwyneth Paltrow, they're going to do a duet, like album together?
They've done a duet. It tore up the face of the earth, changed mankind. I love it when we're cruising together.
Coming up, we're going to go to practice with Jim and Dino, and Ryan, he's going to practice his singing. Whew, brutal.
Crown Produce secures produce locally and from around the world for Canadian retailers. Crown Produce is also proud to secure sponsorship of university football on Shaw. Crown Produce, supporting Canadian retailers and Canadian amateur football. Whether it's your first home, a refinance, or an investment property, Kia Grant & Associates can find a mortgage solution for you. In association with Verico Paragon, the work she does for you is free. Find her on Facebook at Kia Grant Mortgages. Now we go to episode number 1 of proper tackling techniques. And Dino, why are we doing this?
At the end of the day, it's to keep the players safe and make sure that proper technique and fundamentals are taught to every player, and every coach has a good grasp of being able to teach it.
Now in hockey, at certain ages, they've taken hitting out of the game. This is not about taking hitting out of the game, is it?
No, not at all. This is the big attraction to football is the contact. And this is about keeping the contact in the game. just teaching it safer and allowing the players to play with more confidence because they have the technique and the fundamentals to execute.
And this is a case of playing with your head, not necessarily using your head, right?
Exactly, taking the head completely out of the equation, whether it's the coach describing it, and obviously in the technique and the fundamental. The head stays out of the equation.
What are the things that we're going to cover over these next 9 sections?
We're going to cover some of the past issues that have come with tackling and some of the examples that kids may see in pro football that aren't necessarily examples that we want to use as proper tackling technique. We're going to cover everything from a proper warm-up to ensure that players are prepared to play and prepared to play at that fast pace with contact, and then the technique from basically step 1 all the way through to the execution and follow-through of a proper tackle.
And you can see the entire series on the Football BC website at playfootball.bc.ca. You guys ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. This is unit number 2 of proper tackling techniques. And Dino, before we get to teaching proper tackling techniques, we've got to know what the improper one's on and what leads to it. Tell us about that.
Well, I think first of all is the bad example a lot of people see in the NFL, and unfortunately it goes all the way, trickles down to all types of football, and that's leaving the feet. And players that use their body and their head as a weapon, and they leave their feet, leaving themselves totally defenseless and obviously risking injury. Secondly is the contact points of helmet to helmet or helmet to chin, and the emphasis for coaches to make sure that they avoid those even in practices when they're doing slowing down the drills. And finally, just bad technique, which really leaves a lot of players with lack of confidence and lack of fundamental in their technique, and they end up catching the runner rather than being the aggressor in tackling.
Okay, well, here's an opportunity for you to show us what it's all about.
Here we go. Good, so as you can see, the players are leaving their feet and leaving themselves to the elements of contact, which is not safe, okay? And if we have Steven, come on in here, when we do things like that, we are risking the helmet-to-helmet contact that is severely risk for both the neck, the back, the spinal cord. So we want to make sure that that launching is taken right out of the game and that we are teaching safe tackling. The second point is when players aren't very confident and they end up, with the helmet coming underneath the chin, okay? And because of where the chin is exposed, this is again an area for injury anytime somebody is launching themselves or leaving their feet and not having proper technique, okay? Last point on this section is when a player is in bad technique. This is usually a player that has some fear of contact or a lack of the coaching of proper technique, but they're in bad, just like this, bad position, off balance. They're not really sure, they're not putting themselves 100% in there, which leaves them to the risk of injury and being knocked on their back. And again, another point is the back of the helmet hitting the ground, especially at the young ages.
Okay, Dino, let's review those 3 points then.
Yep. The first one is leaving your feet. The second one is the helmet-to-helmet contact, the placement of the helmet either on the crown or underneath the chin. And the third one is bad fundamental technique on taking on a runner.
And you can see more on this series at playfootball.bc.ca.
We're moving on to linebackers, and we're here with Doug Pauls, defense coordinator with Vancouver College. Been a great help with Team BC for our training camps the last couple of years. And this year was Orange Helmet Community Coach of the Year. So he's going to explain to us a 3-drill progression for linebackers. Our first drill, Doug?
We're working on a rip block shed progression. And so if you look back here, the fellas were working on initially hand strike, flip hips, get separation. Then they're going to progress to a rip to get cross face. Then we're going to put it together. So basically what I'm trying to do is break each part of the movement down into functional steps. So we're trying to develop muscle memory skills so that the athletes then can move this at a high tempo in game situations. So the first drill here is simply punch, then rip, then put it together, punch and rip with the pause. And the third part of it is to do this all in one movement. So Coach Conrad is working on that right now with the fellas.
Perfect. So you've given us all 3 drills that you're going to be working on.
No, we got a little more after that.
Okay,
so this is just a rip drill. So the next drill, in terms of, we're going to work a little form tackle. So we're working safety tackle, eyes up. So again, we're going to work on a 3-step progression. Right shoulder, left shoulder. So 1, 2, rip hands, grab and claw, 3, hips through, making sure that all the fundamentals of that movement is sound. Then we'll simply go to a set hit, and we'll do that in one movement. Then we're going to put both of those skills together. We're going to set a slot up, linebacker to running back, simulating toss, and we're going to simply rip across the toss, rip across the slot's face, simulate a form tackle on the tailback, and then we put a game-ready situation together for the LBs.
Perfect.
So here we go. We're just going to work on hand strike first. So the first thing we're trying to do is work on separation. Give you the ready, get the strike. Ready, strike.
Okay, what are we trying to do here in this first drill?
It's the initial stages of contact for linebacker and making sure they're in a good power position when they step into contact.
I understand as we progress through these various drills, it's going to be another situation of hands and then feet and then everything all together, correct?
Exactly. It's just breaking down the movements. Now they're already moving on to the second step, and it's really coaching the element of contact and the initiation of contact to allow the linebacker to get free and make a play, because obviously a linebacker wants to spend as little time on a block as possible because he's got more important things to take care of.
Okay, let's put the shields down, put on the goal line. We've got partner tackle, here we go. Partner up, let's flip. So now the rippers become the scout. Stay. Same group. So just stay. So now we're gonna work on our tackling. Again, we're gonna go a 3-step, right shoulder first. I'll give you the ready, 1, 2, 3. Here we go, ready? Shoulder, elbows back. 1, 2, 3. Good, reset.
So now we're moving on to number 2.
Yes, and they're going to do just a tackle drill, and it's really a big focus of all of football right now is the safety that is being emphasized in tackling and making sure that the initial contact is coached, making sure that the head is not the initial contact piece, that the head is out of the contact, and that we're still able to make an effective tackle. And you can see a couple of the players really emphasizing their head back, really getting that head back. It's called a chest plate tackle, is what it's been coined, to make sure that the chest plate is the first point of contact.
Good. Here we go, let's transition to our last drill. Here we go. Let's get the backs, get the shields up. Get the backs, get the shields, here we go. Linebacker. Slot. Here we go. Tail. Position. Here we go. Way out here. So now we're going to put it together. We're going to go rip. Cross face. Here we go. Ready. Go.
Well, this is testing balance, but it's also challenging the tackler to remain compact.
Exactly. Like we said, you saw a nice job on the rip. But it's making sure that what we refer to is that the tackler doesn't get outside of his body. His feet should be underneath his hips, and his arms are tight to his body so that all his power is compact when he's making the tackle or making the deflection of the block.
Yeah, you heard Coach mention that you're on film, let's make it a little lively, but at the same time, and this is something we're talking about with some of the offensive things that we shot, how much of a benefit is it if you're a high school coach, if you're a community coach, to get this stuff on film so you can show your players what sort of mistakes they're making and how to remedy it?
I mean, the beauty thing about technology now is everybody has film. You know, if you have a camera, you have film. So you're able to take a small piece, and even if it's just off your iPhone or your whatever phone you have, you're able to show the player his body at that contact point, and it's so valuable for them to see what they're doing. It doesn't matter how many times you tell them, until they can see it themselves, it really makes a big difference, and it's almost like the light bulb goes off.
You must have some coaches that are using the iPhone, for example, or the smartphone as something that they can use on the spot as something that's corrective for the player.
A lot of coaches will show it immediately, and that's one of the things with the smartphone, iPhone, that you can show them immediately in the same drill. And it's taking a little bit away from the drill, but it's also adding to the drill. So it's that fine line that you can pick a practice or two that you want to do it in a week and say, hey, this is a practice we're going to show some feedback to, really hammer this point home and take a little bit out of the reps, the muscle memory, but add to the visual and them being able to get that feedback.
Thanks for watching the first edition of Touchdown BC on Shaw TV. Tune in every Thursday at 7:30 to see the world of BC amateur football. Also, see more drills and more information on our website at playfootball.bc.ca. Also a reminder, Canada West football is on Shaw this Friday at 5 p.m. as the Calgary Dinos take on the Manitoba Bisons. I'm Jim Mullen. Thanks for watching. Crown Produce secures produce locally and from around the world for Canadian retailers. Crown Produce is also proud to secure sponsorship of university football on Shaw. Crown Produce, supporting Canadian retailers and Canadian amateur football. Whether it's your first home, a refinance, or an investment property, Kia Grant & Associates can find a mortgage solution for you. In association with Verico Paragon, the work she does for you is free. Find her on Facebook at Kia Grant Mortgages.
Legendary punk band DOA have a brand new studio album out now. We Come in Peace. There's also a brand new live album by DOA. Welcome to Chinatown, DOA Live. Get them at suddendeath.com.